Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Art with Liz here at the Hoboken Public Library. I want to begin, as always, by saying thank you to the Hoboken Library for allowing us to have these pretty incredible hybrid classes. It's wonderful to be able to do our art here in the library and also in the comfort of our home studios. Welcome to March. This is our second celebration of Women's History Month here in Hoboken and the rest of the United States. And we are going to look at another female artist today, one I hold close to my own heart because she was a personal friend. She lived here for many, many, many years in Hoboken, and her name is Rosalind Rose. Unfortunately, she passed away quite recently. Rosalind is an award-winning, internationally exhibiting artist. She was nationally known as an etcher before becoming intrigued with computer manipulated montage. And we are going to start our class, as we usually do, with a slideshow of her work. We're going to look at and discuss it. I also have brought in an original piece of her art for us to look at closely. And then I have an assignment for everyone to do, should you choose to do it. If not, you can create some art, hopefully inspired by what she did. What is a montage? So, a montage is a collection of images taken from a lot of different locations. Rosalind, in the beginning, would collect pictures from all over the place, old books, old photographs, pictures that she took herself. She was an extraordinary photographer, and she would walk around Hoboken, New York City, other places that she visited. She was lucky enough to be a world traveler, and she was always snapping pictures. So her images were just this collection of stuff that she had either piling up in her studio or that she grabbed from magazines or newspapers or pictures that she took with her own camera. And here we go with the slideshow. Her studio was in the Newman Leather Building right here in Hoboken on Observer Highway, and it was a great place to visit because not only did she have a lot of images, but she cataloged everything. So, for example, she had a shelf just with pictures of roses or a drawer just with pictures of birds. She was a very organized artist, quite different from me. You walk into my space and it's a big jumbled up mess. So every artist has a different style of working. In her early career, she had her own printing press. So she made her living by creating etchings that she sold to various places, hospitals, hotels, etc. She made multiple images of her work. So unfortunately, this is blurry. She never explained her images to me, but I believe, and she never told me I was wrong, that this figure in the front is her son. She very tragically lost her son at a young age. He died at the age of 30, unexpectedly, of an unknown disease. He was a kidney specialist. He walked into the hospital that he worked in one day, walked into the emergency room. He had what he thought was just a cold, and he walked in to see if he could get some antibiotics. And the next day he was dead. They never really determined the cause, but Rosalind struggled with that loss for the rest of her life. You would never have known it. She was a very outgoing, upbeat, and fun-loving person, but those memories always came out in her work, always somehow surfaced in the images that, in most of her images, not all, but in a lot of the images that she created. So this picture is not a collage. Later in life, she learned from another photographer here in Hoboken the process of Adobe Photoshop at the ripe old age of, I think, 65. And she became a master of digitizing her images. She would upload her collection of pictures onto the computer and put them into Photoshop. And the process of Photoshop is creating layers. She would make images by layering them and seamlessly blending them together. So what looks like one picture was usually anywhere from 5 to 20 pictures that she photoshopped together. And you can never tell the beginning of one picture and the end of another. And she loved this so much because it wasn't messy. Remember, I told you she was a very neat artist, very organized and neat. And it enabled her to play constantly. She could move images around. She could blur images. She could create textures that she was unable to do with just paper and scissors and glue. She loved exploring different techniques. Photography for her was a fine art. She did use original pictures, as I mentioned, found pictures, and then created these digital montages. She also used slides in her work, and then when she started with the computer, it enabled her to scan images in and manipulate the colors and content, and then combine them into the scenario. Sometimes they suggested myths, things from the past or the future, and the montages speak to us, the spectator, allowing us to blend our own imagination with the illusions she presents. She had many exhibitions, including the Noyes Museum in Oceanville, New Jersey, the Hoboken Historical Museum. She had multiple shows, at least 2 or 3. The Somerville Art Museum in Massachusetts, Sears Gallery in New York, the George Segal Gallery at Montclair State University, Air Gallery in New York, Wayne Stark Galleries, Texas A&M University, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I won't go through the whole list. This is one of my favorite pieces. I actually own this. If you recall, several years ago, Christo, who is a famous artist and also now deceased, did what were called the gates in Central Park. And Rosalind spent many hours there photographing the gates, and she blended the gates. This is a Photoshop piece. It's kind of large. Digital image. She blended it with several old photographs that she was gifted by a family. And then there's other pictures of different landscapes that she took pictures of. So what looks like might be maybe two different photographs is actually, I think, five different images that she's blended together. And it's a very crisp image, but because I've enlarged it, it's very blurry.
How big is it?
This one is about 24 by 36. Her work is in the collections of many museums and corporations, including the Voorhees Zimmerli Museum at Rutgers, the Noyes Museum, the McAllen International Museum in Texas. She is a co-founder of Hobart Cooperative Gallery, which used to exist here in Hoboken, and a Nautilus member of the International Society of Experimental Artists, and was an exhibiting artist of the National Association of Women Artists. We're going to go to the next slide. Again, she loves combining different images to create these very surrealistic, dreamy, dream-like pictures. She was very much involved with blending past and future, obviously indoor and outdoor. I have this interview from her. One of the things she was asked first in the interview is, what made you become an artist? And she said, I can't tell you exactly when, but what inspired it. I created a picture of a robin, which was posted on the classroom bulletin board, and then my mother's refrigerator. The teacher said, you're going to be an artist. I didn't even know what the word meant, but I said, okay, and I've never stopped. She was asked, how do you go about beginning a new body of work? And she answered, I really love the technique of making art, and I've used many mediums. I was an etcher for about 15 years. That was when my sales were best because I worked with decorators and art consultants. I did have to design artworks that matched the decor and were easy to produce in quantity. Eventually, I retired from commercial design and concentrated on assemblage, collages, and now photographic montage. I love the colors in this one. You know, I'm a big favorite of mixing orange with blue. So this is one of her last works. She died at 96. She was working until she was 94. She had her computer, she had this giant computer and huge printer in her assisted living right up till the end. Again, it's very blurry. There's a child on the bottom right. I think you can see her. And looking into space. What? What? It's outer space, yes. I love how the child is really blending into space. She's literally walking out into space. And this is, so she was asked, what is your most recent work about and what materials did you use? Her response, a recent group of work I have produced is called Elements in Balance. Each picture is composed of 4 or more images to illustrate fire, water, earth, and air. Many of the pictures used were space photographs from NASA. However, the air print is composed of 5 photos looking east from my front window towards the New York skyline. I manipulated the colors in Photoshop and stacked the prints in layers to produce a hazy dawn view. that's not what this picture is. All right, so yeah, she did like her wine, I will say. So this image obviously is of Hoboken. She really was very much in love with this city, particularly because of the old architecture. But superimposed over the train station is a picture from somewhere else. I think somewhere in Europe, she told me. The cobblestones may be from our cobblestone street, but the archway is not in Hoboken, nor are the steps. So again, this is many different images blended together to make one. With the Erie Lackawanna train station way back on the horizon line. And here's a quote again from her. What I enjoy doing is combining my pictures with found pictures. When I visit different areas, I search for photographs in collectible stores. All the images are stored as a visual library on my computer and integrated to fit a particular theme. Yes, I like the technique of making art, so I combine my images with found and vintage pictures by scanning and manipulating them in Photoshop. Here's her son again. I really believe this is her son. And again, she never told me no. She was heavily influenced by an artist we've talked about before named Joseph Cornell, because he did collage and assemblage, which I was doing for a while. This is a direct quote from her. I have one of her assemblage. So assemblage are boxes in which artists glue different things, pictures and small objects. And she did years and years of assemblage work, as well as these flat pieces. So this is part of the series, obviously, that the little girl is also part of. And so is this. I think this is part of that Earth, Air, Wind, Water series. Again, it's a little blurry. I'm sorry. Oh, and this is very blurry. Those of us who live in Hoboken, there is some imagery from Hoboken in this. It's buried. So a lot of this statuary used to exist here, and some of it she found elsewhere. But the brickwork that the statues are standing on comes from Hoboken. The ghostly images of the people are obviously from found photographs. But the facade of the building, I don't know. There's lots of different buildings. I think some of it is a building in Hoboken. It's very blurry, so I'm going to move to the next. Okay, I love this picture. I own this picture. Again, it's very blurry. This was a doll repair place in Manhattan that she just fell upon accidentally. But there's many different storefronts in this picture that she joined together. I love dolls, as you know, so I purchased this one. I'm sorry. No, I never went to this store. She did, and she said it was amazing.
Still there? Still exists?
I don't know. I don't know. But this is a really beautiful piece. I'm sorry that these all have reproduced in such a blurry way. And I, of course, didn't know until I showed it on this big screen. But I do have an original of her, so you're going to get to see the precision in her work up close and personal. Let's keep going. Okay, so this is probably the last piece that she created. I think she knew I think she knew she was at the end. And this is a representation of what she thought might be ahead. She wasn't a religious person. I don't know, but she was getting more involved with mythological thoughts and ideas. You can't really see, but on the right, there's like a Greek urn, and there's a sphere with what looks like angel thingies around it to the right of his shoulder. This one won an award.
I think that's her son.
Could be. She did look forward. She believed that she was going to get to see her son. So perhaps this is he.
She had a laptop, Liz, or how did she?
She had a laptop, she had an iPad, but she did primarily her artwork on a very large computer.
Oh, like
She had a huge desktop. She would sketch on the iPad, she would play around on the iPad, but her finished works were done on a huge desktop. And she would sit for hours in front of it. Hours. She was constantly working. I mean, like television screen size. Yeah. It filled a room. Yes.
Okay, there's a little setup, and then I'm interested.
It filled her apartment
Okay.
in her final days. It did. Morning Sally.
Something like this, would be possible, like to print out and become a physical thing.
She printed multiples. It depended on what it was for. Sometimes she would print up to 100, sometimes only 10. The lower the number you purchase, the more valuable it is. And that's true of any artist. So for example, if you get 1 out of 100, if you buy the first one pulled, it's a very valuable piece of art. That's a good question, Alice. So I love this question. She was asked, who or what helped you the most in your work? And she replied, this is Women's History Month. So as females, her reply was, good question. Both my family and my husband were always very supportive. In fact, that was one of the deals when my husband proposed. Before I said yes, I said I was not going to be your ordinary housewife. Be prepared. She was a very feisty person. Oh, I guess I love this so much I'm showing it twice. Or we're going backwards. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're going to stop the share. Oh, but we missed one. Let's go to this. So I also own this piece, which is, I think she talked about this in the interview. It's pretty fantastic. So there's so much detail in this. I wish I could have carried this one in, but it was too heavy. It's behind glass, so it was too heavy for me. So she worked on this for months. Lots and lots of texture in the foreground in the old warehouse room that she took a picture of. She loved the quality of light. So that was one of her goals in her images, was to play around with light. And you can see the sunlight streaming through the window and onto the floor. So she manipulated that. She got some of it in the photographs that she took, but then she would exaggerate it through Photoshop. And behind that, there are pictures of Hoboken. There are pictures of the Manhattan skyline. So there are multiple layers of images that she stacked. She talked about that stacking technique that you can do in Photoshop behind the windows. She liked also creating that illusion of depth in her pictures. All right.
So the piece that you own was the photograph?
I own a print of this. No, I don't own the original. I'm sorry.
How long is it?
This one is also 24 by 36. And it's heavy because it's framed behind glass. So it was too heavy for me to carry. Yeah, she never gave me any. Oh, she did give me one in our long friendship. She gave me one piece. The rest I had to purchase. Well, she was a professional artist. She knew what she was doing. And I never asked for anything. And this is a rule, guys. Don't give away your art. You should never give away your art. You worked hard on it. It is worth something. Any comments? All right. I'm going to show the original picture. I will try and show it to folks at home. It's going to be difficult to do that, but I will try and do that. My goal for participants today is for you to make your own collage. I want you to have a theme today. It's not quite spring yet, but we are bursting with spring all of a sudden. It's a little bit unnatural, but here we are. We're having a couple of extremely warm days. So I want your theme to be nature. Think about nature. Choose a part of nature that you enjoy and look for images that either remind you of nature or are natural. I have brought in magazines. I brought in colored paper. There are different types of glue. Sally, I don't know what you're doing because you don't, Sally. I guess you know what you're doing. There's wet glue and there is glue sticks. There's Mod Podge and there's like Elmer's glue. One of the bottles is leaking, so be careful. I couldn't figure out which one it was this morning. You can take either a whole container of glue or you could pour glue into the cups provided. There are wooden sticks that you can apply the wet glue with. I did not bring in very many drawing tools, but I did bring in soft pastels from a landscape color collection. And there are regular pencils and pencil sharpeners. We might have to share the scissors because it's a rather large group today. So please be kind and share with others. The white paper you can use as your background if you wish, or you could start building your collage on a colored paper background. Any questions? I'm going to put up one of Ms. Rose's images if you prefer copying. As you heard in the video I showed yesterday, if you were in art class yesterday, many artists learn by copying other artists, which was the subject of the video I showed in class yesterday. Any questions? Everybody here is already getting up and moving around.
Liz, it's Robin. I just want to say the description of her and what she did helped so much to understand Photoshop or anything like that, which I have never been drawn to. And it just opened a whole new world. So thank you.
You're welcome, Robin.
Said that, Liz?
Robin. Those of you who want to see the original, I am about to do an unveiling. I'm not sure where I can put it, however.
Do you need some help from somebody to help?
No. I don't know where I'm going to put it so everyone can look at it and look at it safely. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be safe there, but that's a consideration.
Guess you'd be the front one, maybe.
I can't lean it against the TV.
No, it's like, oh, cheating. You know, I think it's clear.
You would never know. You would never know. There's probably.
This is her computer layering technique.
Completely confused. But this one was probably all her own photograph for. Right, if you want to see Rosalind Rose's work, I'm just gonna hold it here for a few moments. Said I brought in an original.
But what's interesting is a whole window full of dolls, but then they're real people. Real people in there too. Dolls heads and then there's.
No, I don't think there are any real.
Okay, that's, I'd say that's.
No, it's a mannequin. They're
Well,
all
they're
mannequins.
all mannequins.
Store.
Okay, all right.
It's okay. She probably sharpened them up so they look
Yeah,
even
yeah,
more
yeah.
human, but
You know,
I destroyed it.
Oh, hey.
You have to get the brain fixed.
2011.
2011, she, remember now, I blocked the date she died. It was this. This.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is, I got the first.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the first out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So I purchased number 1. How much? I don't remember.
Did you buy it from you?
Yes.
How much?
Esty, I hire you to be my accountant. I've already destroyed the frame on it.
You're arguing like you're a piece of work. You don't think that's real?
I know.
Okay.
It's not a big house. It would be the acronym. Relative. It was the cheap. That would be cheap. Well, I guess you could chop the person's head off in the computer.
Yeah.
So what age did you start doing that Photoshop?
I guess it's 65.
Oh, okay.
So over.
She was always open to learning. God, she was amazing. Do you know the photographer Joe Corrado? He's the one who taught her how to do it.
So she started doing like 30.
Oh, okay, okay.
Started a whole new.
Yeah.
That's close.
That the closed downtown?
No, I think this is another. Because these are mannequins, they're not dolls. That's great. She walked the streets in any city that she visited, she would take pictures. She and I went walking somewhere.
Back in the old days, city like out the city,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
It's like a treasure.
Alphabet's really over in Hell's Kitchen. There's so many wonderful.
Nice home.
Yeah.
I like the tunnels.
I was such a huge admirer. Have you ever tried Photoshop? Anyone here ever tried Photoshop?
I tried, but I was too old. I was 50 when I tried.
It's
Yeah.
so
I-
Oh, yeah. Too
Yeah, well,
very
Yeah, but
complicated.
I think she maybe started when she was 80 or something. I'm thinking, wow, she was younger. But see, because she came home, recently, I mean, so she had, she got rid of all the physical stuff and did it all in her head, basically. Right? So she didn't.
Well, and her man.
Yeah, but she didn't
So
worry
it's
about
still-
grades, and,
Right,
you know.
that's why it
stuff.
became the perfect medium for her as she aged.
But I know what's kind of good is that even though it's difficult, the brains are.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
and her brain, she
Her brains
was
are
smart,
working.
right?
Yeah, it makes my brain very, you know, even help.
It
You know,
became harder for her to read and figure certain things out. She got frustrated.
That last
At
year,
that
yeah,
time.
that last image you showed. She did that in her 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are manicures.
Oh, so it's not the other one. Oh, the other, it's not the dogs.
My house.
Especially the hangout.
No, no, that is.
There's always just like,
That could be worse.
Yeah. Here's a car, here's a reflection of a car. Yeah, well, spend, you know, like half an hour. It's very-
And whatever this.
Yeah.
No, I know. Sometimes I think about getting organized on.
No, I'm not organized.
That's what I do. I'm gonna bring it close. By the way, if you don't like my theme, you can choose your own.
Yes.
I'm offering a theme to help you get organized. You might have told. me. My dad wanted me by standing. I like the idea of it. It's my need. Colors is great. No, she grew up in Newark, born in Newark. He was born in London, right, but grew up in Newark. Then married in New York. We're about some fun. And then.
That's a landscape.
Let's see.
There he is.
I took a class that she would do up in the library. Yeah, I never known for. Yeah, okay, yeah. Do you take the bus here or? I come to the drive, that's one of my favorites. Oh, yeah. I don't mind driving. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, no, I take the 89. Okay.
Reflection, but also city.
No, but. No.
Yeah.
Grills.
Yeah. I bought this one. Yeah, it's the first. I love the orange. Orange is orange brown. My favorite color. These are the heads of napkins that you see in department stores. No, it was probably another storefront that was filled with men. And then she placed them in this window. But not, I don't think one by one. It was a collection of mannequins, probably in another window. She photoshopped into this. It's all digital. Exactly that. Except for my. I'll come to you, Jeff. It does look like this empty storefront is in Hoboken, yes. She used a lot of pictures from Hoboken. But then everything else is funded somewhere else. I was a lucky bird. I am one.
Yeah. Well, I did breastfeeding considers lineage. I haven't, but let's see if I can show the people at home.
So people at home, I'm gonna hold up the Rosalind Rose. Nah, you can't really see because of the glare, right?
Please.
Can see it enough.
You can get a sense that it really is seamless. It's one image, but made from many. All right, it's kind of heavy. I can't hold it up for long. I hope you're having fun with your own collage work. And folks at home, you probably didn't hear, you don't have to do nature as your theme. I just was throwing it out as a suggested theme. And I realized, Sally, I'm going to bring this to you to look at, but I forgot to put up an image by Rosalind for those of you who might want to copy. Let me do that first, Sally. And then I will bring this picture for you to look at.
Mm,
I hear people tearing. That is a great way to work collage. You don't have to use scissors. I just found a teeny pair of scissors here, library scissors. They look very sharp if someone wants them. And now I'm going to find a picture to put up. Hopefully it won't be quite as blurry. Anybody want to see a picture of Rosalind? I can put that up briefly. Yes? Okay. Thought she was kind of a pretty lady. At one of her computers. This is one of her smaller ones. I'll share that first and then I'll. Folks at home, can you see?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And there she is.
Okay. Hmm.
I think I may own this picture too. It was one of my favorites. So she worked on the smaller screen when she was getting ready to send an image out for a competition. So this is a finished piece. And then you can see one of her other pieces, a smaller version of one of her other pieces that's hung on her wall. All right. So she was probably in her 70s when this picture was taken, 70s, 80s. All right, so now one of her works. Let's put up the gates. Oops. Let's do that wrong. So I won't enlarge it quite as much as I did in the slideshow. So you can see a bit more of the detail. You able to see it, Robin?
Yes, yes, thank you.
The cars are from a separate photo. I know that. The soil that the family is sitting on is from a different photo. The building behind the gates is from a different photo. And I'm not sure the family members are all from the same family. The more complicated the image, the happier she was. She loved hard stuff. Right. Show this to Sally. Where I reckon any more than I have already. Oh, look, I see her, Janice. How are you? Janice, this is the art that we did. Local artist, Ross. We're doing collage today. Here's a chair here. We'll find a seat. Yeah, we can move the tripod. Laura. We should have invited the mayor to this lab. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Since our artist is a broken artist. I borrowed the edge of the table.
Sure.
Think about shape, size. It's important. You want to vary your sizes. Think about color. You can work in families of color. Blue, green, or red, orange, or red, violet family of colors. I've given you a subject matter to stay within. Difficulty of collage is you have a lot of decisions and choices to make.
Over here on the radio. Yard supply. Yes. Funny works in collage. It is a good thing to have a theme in collage, however. It helps you to unify your thoughts. That's why I gave you a theme today. I like that you're using black as a way to unify. Right. Okay.
The two favorite things in my life, Wizard of Oz and Dorothy.
That works
Every
for
little girl's
me.
life.
And we can also introduce some color to bring the theme together. I actually like that. You have things along the way. And you don't have to put it down right away. Then you can play around.
No, I like the tree.
No, I see. Okay.
So good at that, it's not
Great beginning. Play around. Some beautiful colors going on. I'm sorry. Don't cut it out. Take it away and save it. If you want to put it back in, you can. Yes. That's why we go for the doctor.
Actually,
Gorgeous photograph. Francis, and use something. I put it on this. I think I saw it, I liked it.
okay. That's quite out.
My lesson. You can get rid of that. And.
outside, all my friends were interested in the last school.
Brand new untouched.
Oh.
Edward Wallow.
Oh.
That smells good. It's plenty. Blue down. There you go. It's not about. Very true. Something you can never get. This is the rabbit. You could take favorites out, blend it if you want.
It's just like the end of it. It's all right. No, it's dirty. It's no big deal. Okay. It's no big deal. Here. No, I guess. I never.
Cut. Folks at home, okay? This is your thing, Robin. I know you love collage.
Yes, but what you presented today has given me a whole other way of looking at it. Collage, everything that you've said, like having a theme, which I don't usually do, having it's almost like telling a story, if you will.
Yes,
So thank you.
you're welcome. It is a whole nother way of looking at collage. It is. All right, good luck. But try and relax and have fun.
I am trying. Not so easy. Thank you.
You're welcome. From the table. Oh, okay. Sorry, and that's all up. We'll see the. Go get a cup of water. I'll be right back.
Yes. Yes.
Loses the entire image.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Those things for one.
It's such a generic thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Records, very much. You're right. I have to go on the. You did. You read it?
Yes.
No, I still don't share. That's probably.
Oh, you saw this college?
Really? Very. Oh, yes.
So the actual scholarship?
Plants. Plants. They.
But it wants to be, kind of sex.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that is.
It's not worth it.
They were like a little. Euro, if they to go in.
Yeah, that's. I discovered I was completely biennial, on Monday. Did you know there's a Hoboken artist named, see if I can remember, Margaret Moaning French. She painted in the 1900s.
Oh.
And she was hanging next to Edward Hopper.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
She does very realistic paintings. Never heard of her before in my entire. Margaret Honig French. From Hoboken. Have you heard of her before? Never heard of her.
You know, so this was
So I'm gonna find out more about her. Maybe we'll do a lesson on.
like early 1900s, really.
I think the sign said like 1901.
Oh, okay.
But she was between George Tooper, was another famous realist painter, and Edward Hopper. And I thought her painting was so beautiful. And it was like this whole historic show of American art. Like the quick run through of the American history of art. And she was included. So I'm gonna do more research on her. I was literally screaming in the middle of the Whitney. I got so excited. Like, what? Who is this person? At the Whitney.
At the biennial?
No, she was on the top floor in this, or maybe it was seventh floor in this whole retrospective history of American art. The biennial is, I think, now. It's on now. I saw a part of that too. That's on the. So the top two floors are 8 and 7. The biennial, I think, is 6 and 5. I saw the 6th floor, and then I did a run through of the 5th floor. So I have to go back. Biennial, I think, it's still August, September. I'm thinking. Have you ever seen a picture of who was George O'Keeffe? George O'Keeffe's husband was Edward Steen. Or Albert.
Have you ever seen a picture of him when he was young?
No.
Go to the.
Well, probably yes, but I don't.
He was from Hoboken. Yes.
He lived in Hoboken. Yeah, he wasn't. But no, I read he was born in Hoboken. He was born in Hoboken, you're right.
Picture of him, you know, I don't know what's it was stuff. And he's so, I've seen him when he's old. He's so good looking. Oh,
I'm not surprised. Why are you so surprised?
I don't know, I saw him picking him when he was old.
Does he always look old? All his pictures.
I used to look at him because I was looking at her all the time. Oh.
Yeah.
He looked old.
Yeah, but.
He was much older.
Yeah.
Well, she got him back because the man she ended up with, way younger. than
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. She had her fun.
Good revenge.
Good revenge.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, down Oakfield Street, near me.
Oh, really?
Get your autograph? Your autograph. Oh, she's fat.
He's dead, oh, dead.
Oh, yeah.
Very dead.
She was that. Archery dead.
Yeah, they're definitely work in progress.
I needed a lamp.
So during the 1930s, during the Depression, artists were hired by the federal government. And they did start She was hired,
really.
hired by the federal
Yeah.
government. And she took photographs of who were not for the Dust Bowl. Or escaping poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I think so, yes.
No, I have a new father, he's a classroom, and he worked in like a job in the. He was so famous, he was so much images that he's put on my slide.
Very nice.
He's going on now.
You never got your slide.
No, I have, yeah, he did that famous one, Picasso, going with the light, and also
Yeah.
Gator, lights on the back of us.
Who is your teacher?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I think Dorothea Lange did work for Life magazine.
Yeah. They had some funny.
Just graduated from high school, and I said, what are you gonna do? She said, I wanna go be a photographer, so she worked for a photographer and then.
Can you get
I
it
think
out?
that's all. I got it.
Fine.
I'm my motto.
Yes.
And the great.
She had a Yeah. So now I feel a little.
Yeah, we are good. Nice.
Okay.
Yes,
Professor.
so powerful and wonderful.
You know, she said she went to high school. Her mother worked in the New York Public Library, so she sent her daughters to high school in New York City so that she would be near her and they would go together in the morning and come home at night. So she finished school early as a high school kid. And her mother didn't finish until later, so she wandered around the Lower East Side, the high school. That's how she got interested in poverty and everything. Can you imagine?
And my mother grew up on the Lower
Yeah.
East Side. On Delancey Street.
Wow.
You see the movie
Crossing the Lens?
Yeah. She slept with the baseball bat, the rats out of it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's awful.
According to her.
That's what she told me.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. During the Depression. So, hardly elected to take his picture.
That would be cool. She always was very interested and very compassionate, you know, about that.
Yes. What time? Do we still have plenty of time? I'm seeing some terrific work here today. We still have about 10 minutes to go. Your piece is really nice.
I love today's class.
You did?
So funny. Kind of like the first time you were kind of, we just did it.
That makes me really happy to hear, man. So now we have two artists. We could do a class about Dorothy Alana. We could do a class about Margaret Honig French. And Honig is spelled Honig. That's the only two.
Honig, yeah.
Very German. And she. Oh. More than we even knew. I'm sorry, I missed the dedication of the book about Brianna Tempe. I wanted to come, but I had a meeting that night. Maria Tempe was the first girl to play baseball. Barriers.
No, she's alive.
How about
She's really alive.
Julie? Very alive. She's really a nice. One day I lost my paycheck. It was in panic. It's very kind of me. Maria Pepe. Why did you say she's coming to speak? It's the first girl I to speak.
You know, she's speaking in within a month or two. Here, the one you're just talking about.
In the library?
I don't know where, but she's in public, yes. I'll find out if you want.
I would like.
Yeah.
Oh. And was Rafi the person who wrote the book? Or was it a book of somebody else and Rafi was the speech?
Yes, here, the library.
Rafi is a children's book author who lives here in Humboldt. Yeah, and she serves on the library.
Rafi.
Rafi, yeah, it's Rafi, but everybody calls her Rafi.
Yeah.
She is indeed.
Well, I don't know really that.
I'm sorry. Never read.
No.
That's Beanie. Probably.
Beanie. Yeah.
There's so many kinds of art here. I don't know what to say. They're all fabulous. Collage can go in so many different directions. Wow. Each piece of art is thrilling to look at.
So next week is a double class, am I right?
Is next week the 18th?
Yes.
Yeah, next week is a double class. We are making up the class we miss. Why did we miss the other? Because the blizzards.
The late opening HVAC.
Oh, yeah.
The library.
There was a delayed opening because of the heating problem that we had. This morning and afternoon. 1:30.
I gotta drive.
Yes, so there will be next Wednesday, there will be a morning class from 10:30 to 12:30. And an afternoon class from 1 until 3. And the day, we're getting there. Two different artists. I don't remember either of them. I will send out an email. But it's regular time for Tuesday. Tuesday is regular time, 1:30 to 3:30 at the multi-center. However, the temperature is dropping, so make sure you dress warm for multi.
Yeah. Did you ever go to tennis?
Oh, many times.
Yeah.
When I was the primary school teacher, every day on multiple field trips, so. And then I went once with my own child. I visited, and I went once with my mother. So she wrote me upstairs.
I went with my neighbor who grew up on the Lower East Side, and it was like, oh, yeah.
She didn't know she was poor.
That's right.
You don't know. We didn't realize.
Where I grew up, right, everybody around us.
Right. So she had wealthy cousins who would take her in, and do special things with her, but no one told her she was poor.
No, it was just the way everybody lived. My grandmother had daughters. She had like three children, a husband, and a daughter in a bedroom apartment that I grew up.
Everybody lived in France State.
My mother met my father, but he was a boarder, but they were ranchers.
Yeah.
But they rented out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. They moved it was my grandmother, grandfather, and then they had, and their daughter, who was my mother, and then they had 3 boarders, like family.
Yeah.
The 6 is right.
Wow. Oh,
I haven't been here.
that's cool.
That's awesome.
And the rent was cheap.
All right, folks. 5 minutes till cleanup. Do we want to keep working though, or do we want to stop in time to share?
I'm leaving in 5 minutes.
You're leaving, so you can't vote.
Because it's.
So cool.
I found a album cover of Nancy Sinatra, her first album with the group. So I want.
Are made for walking.
I have my mom was in my friend's Sinatra, and of course, so someone has made sketches of me. She passed away. I thought, there you go. Yeah. So I want to put it right next to it. I want to montage it and all it up, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1965 when she made that record.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still on. I was a junior last thing.
Yeah, she knows her face.
She was.
In California. Yeah.
When they saw the statue, I was there.
Oh, no. I came when they dedicated Sinatra Park. Oh, she's son-in-law, yeah. Back in the 90s. Excellent.
She looked all that better.
No, her daughter still lived in Hoboken. Her son-in-law was Spinacci. Her son-in-law is Spinacci.
daughter is 18. I don't know how married she is. Many years ago.
Danny Aiello, but it's in front of me. I'm on it. Fiore Stella. That's right. Danny Aiello.
My sister, you know,
What?
my sister, you know, my sister was so crazy about it. So
Yeah.
came
I hope.
and she had a picture taken with him and she hugged him.
Uh-huh.
Very amiable.
Yeah, well, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Except he cut the line in Fiore's. You don't cut the line at Fiore's and get away. I don't care who you are. I used to ride the Stairmaster at West Planet Fitness Center, it was Empire Fitness.
Yeah.
And guess who was on the one next to me? Joey Pan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he still there?
His daughter lives in home. He does not.
It comes back every so.
And he would, one day he turned to me and he goes, I'm Joey Pants. Yes, I know. No, his daughter lives here. All right, I didn't get an answer on the sharing, so I'm guessing we want to keep working. Folks at home, we are not going to share today. I'm sorry. Anyone who wants to send me an image, I'm going to put my email in the chat box. We are working hard here. No one wants to stop, so. So glad you're back in person. Be safe. Oh, Robin, what nice things.
I'm glad we have more time. I'm
Thank
plagiarizing.
you for the book recommendation.
You're welcome. Huge. Huge, huge, huge.
I didn't know.
So since we're not going to share,
Let's see.
we can work for a few more minutes. Looks like Mao has something he wants me to look at though. So Mao, I'm going to go over there to you. That's very cool, Jack.
Hey, Liz. How do you feel? This is what I got.
You have to tell him all of the else in the problem. Definitely not. Maybe start by filling in just part of the title. See where that leads.
I do.
I want to put Trace.
Just in case.
Safe color that, no, just so.
I've heard learning that they're not.
I still wonder if they, every time it rains, it's. Parasitic.
Hi, Lala.
Yeah, for some reason they say they don't have your card on file. I don't know why. Good.
Yeah, well, can I give you the number and they'll take it?
Well, I just,
Oh.
okay,
Yeah, because when I got my last meds, it was an automatic payment
yeah.
and they're not doing it. Oh, gosh, shucks. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay, Lala. All right, thank you.
All right, we must start cleaning now. I'm so sorry.
And I'm ready to share.
My computer made that horrible noise. Again, I didn't even touch it. And it made that noise. But we must start cleaning now, folks. Since we're not doing a formal sharing, while you're cleaning, I would recommend walking around to see what others have made because we did some absolutely breathtakingly beautiful work today. But while you're looking at what others created, please don't forget we have to clean up. I'm going to unplug my computer so that maybe we won't hear that nasty noise. Those of you who are not finished with your collage, feel free to take her home with you if you need it. I'm not that far. Yeah, it's in nature. Yeah, right. Even go further and further. Yeah. All right, guys, we have to be Me too, I'm sorry.
You traveled? Oh, wow. Where are you?
Bye, guys. See you next week.
What? Yeah, I know. Very, very animated, you know.
All right, so folks at home, I think I'm gonna say goodbye. Robin, do send me a picture.
Absolutely.
We are just cleaning up here.
Okay. I think everyone should send their pictures in to you, and then you would have a library to show us the next time.
That'd be fun. Remind me of that idea next week, okay?
Okay. Thanks so much.
Enjoy Art On, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this Art with Liz class about my friend Rosalind Rose, and there will be more celebration of women in art next week here at the Hoboken Public Library. Thank you for joining us, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.